What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here, founder of this gaming podcast. In this episode, we're going to be sharing our thoughts on the Lion King event over on Disney Magic Kingdoms, which has been running for the last month. Been having a lot of fun playing it. As of this time we're recording, we've got like a few hours left. Personally, I'm done. I managed to unlock Scar last night. I was on a done. It's the first actual event I have ever finished where other than maybe Mulan was the other one. It feels like the first proper event where I've defeated the villain and beat it, and did it with hours. Well, it felt like hours to spare. So yeah, just in general, I think it's been a real fun event. But I know you're not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet. I did have the D23, thing where I couldn't play as much. However, I am very close. I only need a couple of mice tokens for Scar, and I am actually close enough where, if I don't get those mice tokens before the event ends in about 9 hours, I'm close enough where I will just pay the gem price. It's only like going to be 100, 120 gems.
For the one missing piece,
Yeah, exactly. And the way I figure it, we're not going to get Scar again until, they release a Lion King legendary chest or whatever, which will be complete RNG. So even if I bought those chests to get Scar, I'd probably have to buy 2 or 3, which would come out to, 200 something gems or whatever. So just going to go ahead and bite the bullet, assuming I don't get the mice, which based on their drop rate, I'm not going to get, because those mice are evil.
Yeah, we'll do that straight off the bat, because reading on the Facebook groups of the reaction, the drop rates on these have been pretty bad. Some people were able to get this game a little bit earlier in terms of getting forward. I think it really depends on how you play. I think if you're a mobile player where you've got it in your pocket, maybe you're doing a small event. For me, I tend to play on my iPad, so I'll do a check in the morning, turn them on an hour, do it again before I go to work. Where I leave it then for 8-9 hours. I come back, do a few hours, a few drops, send them away again when I go to bed. Whereas if you're on a mobile, maybe you can keep doing those 2 hour and get those bits and pieces, so that will speed you up. But the drop rate on some of the Scar items have been dreadful. I mean, I'd send them all away, send every character away for a mission, come back, the following morning, and I wouldn't get one item. And they're going, look, they did this to me with Frozen, where I got that frustrated. I did not get hands because I literally just went, no, you're just annoying me. I'm not giving you money because you've annoyed me, rather than, oh, well, I'll just do it.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm not really actually giving them money for this. The gems I'm spending are free gems from the daily ads, which, that gives them money, but not directly from my pocket. And also from, upgrading characters, you get gems back. Plus, I'll get a few of them back for completing the Lion King collection. I don't know how many that'll be, but, every bit counts. I want to say, though, the Scar tokens shouldn't really be a surprise, because like you were talking about, this is common with the villains in all of them. But after Nala and Simba, who were just so easy to unlock, like I think I had Nala, once I got home and could actually dedicate time to it, I had Nala unlocked within like 18 hours of getting home. Just no problem. Simba wasn't that hard either, and then you just hit this wall with Scar.
But as we said before, I mean, it's a bit like what's going on with me trying to get Bullseye at the minute, where they turn around and go, oh, you need 30 of these items or 40. But if every single time you do the mission it gets a character, it feels more rewarding and it feels more doable. Whereas this Scar one, it's just like, you're just not dropping at all. I was getting to a point now where I'm going, hold on a minute. My Lion King float is no longer dropping items. Even they just stopped. And it's like, well, does that mean I've now got them in the bag because of the characters that have gone off? Having Rifiki and I think Zazu did help. I think that worked very well. I mean, I did buy I bought the float, I brought Zazu, and I brought Ricky. So I spent about probably £10 on the event. And like I've said in the past, I'm happy with throwing down some cash. I'm not going to be spending a fortune on it, but those bundles seemed a good deal. I don't mind. I play the game. To me, playing the game, 20 minutes or so a day, well, there's value to that to me.
Right. And I think, it was great that Rafiki and Zazu were included in the SCAR tokens. However, that is my other major complaint with the event, and I think based on what I've read, a lot of people also have this complaint, is that you had to have Rafiki and Zazu, otherwise Simba and Nala were useless for getting SCAR.
Yeah.
Because their only missions, both of them, were team-up missions with Zazu and Rafiki, and I think that was, not cool.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, I can see, because I hadn't really thought about it. I think this is that thing that you buy them and you move on and you're not really thinking of it. But yeah, if you're trying to do that without... I did get to a point, actually, about 3-4 days ago, where I just defeated Scar, I think, the second time. And I kept getting all these random missions coming up. And I'm going, I need to get to the unlocking stage because I know they're going to be awful. And I think I ploughed through about 40-odd... gems, just like skipping forward some of those missions because Nala and Simba want to go and have a swim. I'm like, and I looked online and I'd seen that I was about 2-3 missions away from starting the Scar ones, and I literally did make that decision of like, right, you now need to just get these 3 missions out the way so you can start on getting those items because they get you go swimming for 12 hours. Or skip it for 17 gem, and I'm gonna that, and then essentially that me saving myself 12-13 hours meant I finished it, because if I hadn't have done, I could be there now today trying to do that last bit, which it was a relief to the point of going, okay, I'm done. So I feel like as a whole, I feel like the month event was long enough, and also. They spread out a little bit. I do still feel like that's this last week. They need to just tweak it a little bit. I know they want to get money out of us, but it can sour an entire event if they get it wrong.
Right, and I think it was just on the wrong side of that with Zazu and Rafiki. And I think the one thing that they could have done to change that is what I already mentioned, is they could have had Nala and Simba each able to do a token without Rafiki and Zazu. But you know what? Make it a 6-hour mission. Make it an 8-hour mission.
Yeah.
Keep the benefit for having Zazu and Rafiki, so they only had the 2 and the 4-hour missions. Yeah. But give the free-to-play players, the players who did not pick up either of these guys, a chance to use Simba and Nala. Why would Simba and Nala not be useful in picking up SCAR tokens on their own? That was a huge issue.
Yeah. I mean, I found the gem and the ticket system.
That's the same they've been using for a while. It's still annoying though.
I didn't find it as bad as the Snuggly one.
I will agree with that.
I was finding sometimes I was just I was sending away Woody and Goofy and Mickey to go get the gems, and they were also dropping in the chest quite well. And I ended up getting to a point where I'd be like, oh, I've got 10 or 12 of each stacked up, and I'd send them away and to get a load of tickets at once. The only thing that kind of bugged me was seeing this event, the characters had to be leveled up a lot higher. I got to a point where Nala I wanted to start getting SCAR tokens, and I realized she had to do this swimming event, but she was 2 levels below where I needed her, because I tend to drop off trying to upgrade unless I need to and waste that time and coin and. I'm like, oh wow, I need to drop. And they're up to level 6s for Timon and Pumbaa, and this felt quite high.
Yeah, it was quite high. And then also, I was in an interesting position where I could do the first round of the fight with Scar, no problem. Everybody I sent, was fine. And then I got to the second round of the fight, because you have to fight them, 2 times and then multiple times with each one. And Pumbaa wasn't high enough level. I was like, wait, why was he fine the first time, but he's not fine this time? Fortunately, he was just 1 level off, and I had all the parts except for 1, so it was very quick to get him. But at the same time, I don't know how they would communicate that with us. Oh, you're going to need this character at this level, to do this. But it definitely would be nice if you weren't kind of blindsided, because now I've got 5 people doing this mission, and you really need all 6 of them doing it at a time.
Yeah, so. I was finding myself looking at some, I think the wiki guide, and also just the Facebook groups of just that thing of just trying to get that little bit of knowledge of where to go, because, like I said, for me, it almost felt like this event. It was the first epic big one where I was enough into the game where I had enough characters, because I'm trying to unlock what is it? I'm trying to unlock Nick Wilde and also Mother Gothel and Bullseye. So I'm much later in the game on this time than I was on previous events because, like, you know, I stopped playing for a few months a year ago, and it just meant when I was starting those events, I was behind the curve. Going into this event, I had pretty much everyone. The only thing is then sometimes be like Chip and Dale would be like need to be level 7 or 8, and I wasn't near that, and they'd be like, I mean, I got so many upgrades to do for the next few weeks. I've got so many characters ready to go, but I haven't been doing them for weeks. But definitely feel like I feel quite like, oh, that was a good event. I enjoyed that one. It seemed to work quite well.
As a person who bought both Zazu and Rafiki and then had a whole week or most of a week where I really wasn't able to play properly and still being able to finish the event, obviously I'm pretty happy with it. The one concern I have, neither of us are free-to-play players, so I'm not sure how it was from a free-to-play perspective. There was certainly that issue with Simba and Nala. I have read, posts on Reddit and, in various channels where people have been like, oh, I was free to play and I got Scar. But they do seem to be less than the number of people who are like, oh, I got Simba, but there's no way I'm getting any farther than this. But, that's the price. These events are definitely designed with the idea you pay a little bit of money and you'll almost certainly get the final villain if you put a little bit of effort in, or you don't get those two characters and you put a lot of effort in, like setting timers, making sure, turning the bloody notifications back on. I hate the notifications.
Oh, I turn off all notifications on games. But it definitely felt like, to me, it seemed to work quite well. And also there again, I think because I had so many characters going off collecting the tokens, like the in-game currency, I never felt like I don't think once did I ever need any currency because I was way ahead. I'm hoping for that sort of nice bit of... Because also there is that thing as well, like you said before, about spending your gems. You know that you're going to, especially at that last bit, where you're going to get some for finishing the set off. Your currency is going to give you some. So sometimes it's like, well, do you spend 10 gems to get that last piece, but you're going to get given 25 for completing the set? It's actually, not too bad. I mean, there's lots of offers on the gems and stuff, but yeah, it does look all right.
And then, assuming this follows previous events, if you have leftover event currency, some of that will get converted into gems as well. Yeah. Based on the history plus what I was reading, I think it's 80,000 of the event currency turns into 40 gems, and then you break it down if you have less than that, which it's not enough to get you a character, but it's definitely enough to be like, well, I spent some money or I spent some gems to speed up these missions, and I got it back by having the event currency. So it takes the sting out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at that point now where it's like I need the gems because I've got quite a few buildings to buy, rather than focusing on characters, because it just doesn't. It's like I'm actually getting to the point where I need lots of gems to buy buildings because that was something I avoided for so long. That I've got quite a few built. It's like, when a lot of people are going, I've got no space, and I'm going, I have got like tons of space because I've not been spending the gems on those buildings. Because events would always distract me, and also I'd always use those gems on, I'll just skip this one, or I'll just skip it. And that was where it kind of come in. So I have got loads of stuff to kind of buy like that. I do think Green Alien will be probably dropping this. There's a little teaser as I was recording a couple hours ago that it looks like. I don't think that's a bad idea. Personally, I need a couple of weeks now just to clear up everything that's gone on after the event, because I'm thinking of like 5 characters that need to do 24-hour upgrades. I'm literally there's quite a lot of that going on for me, and I've still got the Zootopia event to go through, and even like Jungle Book is quite a way off. So I do think that hopefully we haven't got an event for maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully that Cars one or something like that. Something a bit interesting.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the good things about Disney Magic Kingdoms is we have enough events going on to keep us engaged with the game, but not so many that it feels like a constant grind of event. Like we're not going from this event immediately into a Cars event or a Moana event or something like that. So we've got some downtime now. 9 hours, and by the time this is posted, we'll have downtime. We'll be able to start leveling characters. Based on what I've seen from who drops tokens in these events, Scar is going to be a priority to upgrade because it seems like the villain from the previous event ends up like dropping tokens in the current event. I know Gaston was someone who dropped tokens in this one. Doesn't help me, but whatever.
Well, it's like me. I mean, I didn't end up getting Hands, I didn't get Gaston. However, I managed to get Oogie Boogie in a legendary chest.
Right.
And even now, he's only level 3. Because he's 3-4 months later because I can't get any of his parts because I didn't have Zero or Sally. I just can't get any of his parts, and it's just impossible. Unless they drop in a chest, which would never happen. So there is that kind of thing. There is a major flaw in their legendary system where if you jump 2-3 characters on a villain, my Oogie Boogie is like, I need this part, and you click on the option to see what part you need. Go chest. Or platinum chest. And you're like, okay, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's not a bug, that's a feature. And that feature is supposed to encourage you to spend gems to level them up automatically.
No.
I wouldn't be too surprised, though, if we didn't see the Nightmare Before Christmas guys pop up in October again.
I think another event would be good. Add another 3 or 4 characters and stuff. But it literally writes itself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a very easy one to do. You either do it at Halloween or you do it in Christmas, or you completely ignore it and they just release them in chests and do something completely different for Halloween. No. They've got plenty of movies they could draw from.
Certainly do. On that note, guys, we'd love to know your thoughts. How did you find the Lion King event? Share your details and share all your thoughts on the comments below. As per usual, check us out over at DisKingdom.com. You can also find us on iTunes and YouTube, etc. And also, it's the start of the month, so there will be a brand new giveaway where I am going to be giving away a $20 sort of online store for like PlayStation, Nintendo, or Xbox. That's going to be August's giveaway. Kind of open it up a little bit. I was going to do afternoon collection, but no, we're going to spread it out a little bit. So you'll find all the information over at disgaming.com/giveaway. You can also find it on DisKingdom as well. James, where can they find you?
HeroicLegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Later.